Hello and welcome to the Mum Boss Method podcast and the first Mum Boss Method podcast of 2025. Happy New Year. I think that's probably the last time I'm going to say it. When is the right time to stop saying Happy New Year? Does anyone know? Answers on a postcard. Please let me know. Excuse me, taking a sip. I'm bringing you this, recording it Sunday morning. It's the 5th of January, and I've woken up with a really sore throat, a fuzzy head, sneezing, little tickly cough. It's delightful, but I make a commitment to make these podcasts every week. And so here I am. If you're watching me on YouTube, the lighting's actually not making me look too ill, which is a dream, but I sound quite ill, don't I? I hope you all had a delightful Christmas and New Year. I spent Christmas was lovely. I got what I think was norovirus on Boxing Day evening and was sick for 5 days. I think that then led to me having a little bit of a reduced immunity, and I've picked up this horrible cold. Honestly, my throat feels like I'm swallowing razor blades. It's horrible, but I'm never normally, I'm not really a sick person. I've never had a stomach bug for 5 days before. I do normally get a bit of a cold around Christmas, so I'm not surprised by the cold. The stomach bug really surprised me. But anyway, it's frustrating to be sick twice within a week. But you know what? We move. It's fine. I will, after doing a bit of work today, I'm going to chill. I'm going to sit on the sofa. I'm going to watch TV, do a bit of crafting, maybe read a book, just take some time. But yeah, that's me back in the swing of things. But yeah, I'll apologise now just in case I cough or, snivel or whatever. Anyway, on to the topic for today's podcast. I am here to kickstart your 2025. I started last week. I shared with you what I don't want you to do in January, but this week I want to share with you my tips for sustainable weight loss in 2025. And in fact, it's not just weight loss, it's how to kickstart your 2025 and be in the best shape of your life and have great health in midlife this year. Okay. I know it's really tempting, whether you've got a weight loss goal or a health goal, whatever it is. I know it's really tempting to just jump on the newest fad or the newest quick fix because you want results as quickly as possible. But if you've been listening to me for a while now, you know that quick fixes, fads, gimmicks, they don't lead to sustainable results that last a lifetime 99% of the time. So I thought today I'd share with you my top tips for getting in the best shape of your life in 2025 in a healthy and sustainable way. And I've really, tried to keep these as simple as possible, whilst giving you as much detail as I can, as much support as I can. There are going to be lots of links for you to check out in the show notes as well. So I want you to make sure that you do that so that you can use all the resources that I'm giving you. So let's crack on then. I want to start with setting the stage and really talking about the importance of starting your year with intention. Even if you're listening to this in March 2026, it's not too late to set an intention. And the reason for that is because when you go into anything with a clear intention or goal, you can take specific actions that will get you closer to that goal. But that being said, what I don't want you to do is set intentions that don't mean anything to you. If you want to, if you don't want, to get healthier or in the best shape of your life, don't set that as an intention. Even if you think you should, because that's what everyone else is doing at the moment. That's not, if that's not your priority right now, then that's fine. But as with anything, setting a clear goal will allow you to measure your progress, to make any changes that you need to, and to celebrate your successes. So if you want any help with goal setting, my Substack post this week is on that very topic. So check out the link in the show notes to read that Substack this week and any of my previous Substacks. There's loads of free articles there for you to get your teeth into. So what are my tips then for getting in the best shape of your life in midlife in 2025? Like I said, I wanted to keep these really simple and actionable for you. So I'm going with 5. So let's just jump right in, shall we? Number 1 then is go slow to go fast. This might seem a weird one to start on. It's not very motivational maybe, but hear me out. If you've done fad diets in the past, or fad get healthy quick routines, get fit quick, plans for the gym, or you've crash dieted, you've gone super low calorie, or you've spent the majority of your adult life yo-yo dieting, you'll know that you might lose weight quickly in the beginning. But these results are more often than not unsustainable, because the method is unsustainable. So when clients come to me having tried all these methods in the past, I have to manage their expectations. And that's because to achieve sustainable results in a way that doesn't leave you feeling miserable, you need to go slow to go fast. So one of the things that I always have in my coaching is a little video I send my clients on week 3 that's talks about if they feel a bit meh. And that's because in the first couple of weeks, you're really excited, you're doing something different, you're really engaged. And then by week 3, you've had it in your head that you should be expecting to see massive results. But the reality is that if you're doing this in a sustainable way, you're not going to see, a stone weight loss in 3 weeks. That's not sustainable. It's not healthy for most people. Because when you work sustainably, if you work with me or any other good coach, this means you're not going to be dropping calories to a horrifically low level. You're not going to be cutting out loads of your favorite foods and canceling all of your social plans, but instead you're going to be incorporating a modest calorie deficit. And by the way, you don't have to count calories. But that modest calorie deficit you should be able to maintain consistently. I also would advise that you are moving your body in a way that you can maintain consistently, and that will look different for everyone. So if you haven't been working out for the last 6 months, it's not achievable for you to start trying to do 6 sessions a week. It's also not necessary. So remember, go slow to go fast. It might take you longer to get to your goal initially, but if you've yo-yo dieted your whole adult life and been on again, off again, especially when it comes to like this time of year and every January you're back to the diet, going slow to go fast will serve you better for longer, and you'll actually get there quicker than you have in the whole time you've done it before, because you won't be starting again and again and again, right? How much better would it be to achieve the results and maintain them for the rest of your life than constantly go back to a crash diet every January and then just before your summer holiday? So go slow to go fast. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, I want you to focus on building healthy habits. So many commercial diet clubs and plans focus simply on food. And whilst it's true that for weight loss specifically, your nutrition will be the main part of your results, you might have heard the term, you can't outrun a bad diet. And that's true in my opinion. But the habits you build around your diet, so with exercise, with your lifestyle, will make your progress easier to achieve and your plan easier to stick to. So whilst yes, nutrition is super important, actually maintaining and sticking to your nutrition goals will be so much easier if you stick to other habits as well. So you will have heard me, and probably other people, if you follow other coaches, talk about the importance of things like protein, fruit, veg, water, walking, workouts. But making these things habits that will serve you long term is what will lead to a healthy life long term. These things are not just things that you do in order to lose weight. They're not short term things. And that's why they're so important. So making all of those things, the protein, the fruit, the veg, the water, the walking, the workouts, part of your life is vital. Some of the examples that I wanted to share with you in order to like highlight this point then are, let's think about your nutrition. Okay, so to make sure you hit your nutrition goal, get your protein, get your fruit, your veg, your fiber, is to get into a habit of planning your food. And then an additional habit to get into might be prepping some of your meals in advance. So, for example, yesterday I made a big batch of soup, vegetable soup, that will last me probably until Wednesday or Thursday. And every evening while I'm cooking dinner, I make the next day's breakfast. And if possible, I make some of the next day's lunch as well. And this means I know I've got these meals covered and I'm not going to get caught short or tempted to just grab something that's not going to meet my nutritional goals. I never used to do that. I never used to prep my lunches or breakfast the night before. I never used to plan my meals the way I do now, plan them around my my plans for the week. I used to get up in the morning, rush around, hastily get myself something for lunch, and more often than not, I would go and use the work canteen when I was working in corporate. So that's a habit that helps me to stick to my nutrition goals. Your lifestyle habits are hugely underestimated in health and in weight loss and in getting fitter. So, for example, many of my clients don't realize the impact that lack of sleep has on their progress. Not because surviving on 4 hours sleep per night makes you gain weight, like that doesn't translate. Absolutely. It's not 4 hours sleep, oh, well, I'm going to gain 3 pounds of fat today. But because actually being underslept and tired means that you're less likely to tick off the rest of your healthy habits. So who can be bothered to get up and exercise in the morning when you've not had enough sleep? And if you haven't had enough sleep, I bet that you tend to survive a lot through your days on a lot of caffeine and sugar. Okay, I know that that's where I used to be. So it's really important to see that all of your lifestyle habits are super interconnected. So yes, I want you to be thinking about your food, your exercise, your water, your walking, but I also want you to think about things like planning, preparing, sleep, all of those things. Right, I just had to stop the recording because the teenager, despite me telling him I was recording a podcast, is making a lot of noise. So, just keeping it real with all of you. It's not easy when you've got a teenager in the house. Anyway, so my point two is that all of your lifestyle habits are connected. So yes, you should focus on your nutrition and you should focus on your exercise, but all of the other habits that underpin that and make those things easier are equally as important. Now, that being said, tip number 3 is don't try to do it all at once. So I've just reeled off to you, the habits that I focus on, that my clients focus on. And for each of my clients, the things that are their main focuses will be slightly different. I can think of a couple of them. Their sleep is something that is really key for them to keep an eye on. For me, my sleep is something that is really key for me to keep an eye on. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that Sleep is something that I've battled with for quite a long time. But it might seem really tempting for you to try to change everything all at once. But that can lead to overwhelm. And ladies, we don't need any more overwhelm in our lives, do we? And ultimately lead to you giving up. So those habits that I've listed that lead to you looking and feeling your best are really important. But what I don't want you to do is start trying to change them and incorporate them and work out how to do them all straight away, because that isn't going to work. I want you to work on the ones that are going to make the biggest impact and focus on those. This is something that I do with all of my clients. So before my clients start working with me, we have an onboarding call, and in that call we have like a lifestyle audit, and we go through everything that goes on in their lives, and that helps me to help them to narrow down the biggest 2 or 3 habits that are going to make the biggest impact. So if you want to know what are the most important habits for you to focus on, then why not complete my Find Out Why You Aren't Losing Weight quiz, which will help you to identify the ones that are most important to you in your life. And you can find the link to that in the show notes. So like I say, ideally, I want you to focus on 2 or 3 habits for a couple of weeks. And then once you're making those a habit and they feel easier, you can layer in another couple. But remember, point number 1, go slow to go fast. Okay, number 4. Wow, my throat. I need a little sip. Hold on, bear with. I got this, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. I got this like travel mug type thing from my nephew. It says Auntie Saurus, like a normal auntie, but more rawsome. And it's a travel mug. You can put hot drinks and cold drinks in there. Now, I don't want to put hot drinks in there because I think it'll start tasting of coffee. But at the moment, I've got ice cold water in there, and it keeps it cold for so long, and it's so nice on my throat. Anyway, excuse me. Okay, number 4 is strength training. I cannot stress this enough. Stop thinking that you have to take up running and do hours and hours of cardio to lose weight and get in shape. Yes, running and cardio are really important for your heart health, but there are 2 things you need to understand and accept here. Number 1, we don't exercise to lose weight. We don't exercise to burn calories. We don't exercise to make us shrink ourselves. More about that on another episode. I'm not going to go into the huge amounts of detail on that one. Number 2 is cardio will not get you in the best shape of your life. Okay, yes, it will get you fitter, heart, lungs wise. And I am not dissing cardio here. I run once a week. I started my fitness journey with running. I really enjoy running, but it will not get you toned and looking in the best shape of your life. You need to be lifting weights and strength training to do that. Now, maybe you've never lifted weights in your life, or maybe you don't know where to start. That's okay. My next point is going to help you with this. Number 5 is going to help you. But if you want that toned look, if you want to look after your bone health, if you want to be strong and independent and getting up off the toilet seat when you are 90, you need to lift weights. And no, you won't look masculine. Okay, so your nutrition is what, if you have a fat loss goal, excuse me, if you have a fat loss goal, your nutrition is what is going to help you drop fat. If you don't have a fat loss goal, you just have a fitness and strength and health goal, your nutrition is going to fuel that, it's going to support that. Lifting weights is what is going to make you strong, it is what is going to give you that toned look, it is what is going to keep you independent and secure things like your bone health, which as midlife women, perimenopausal women, and if you're listening to this and you're not yet perimenopausal, you one day will be. So this is important. And I wish I had started strength training in my 20s, not just my 30s. It is so important. But, stepping away from those things, if we're just talking aesthetically, If you want to look toned, you need to build muscle. Okay, number 5, this is my last point, is get support. If you don't know where to start on this journey, or you've been trying to lose weight, get fitter, stronger, healthier for a while, but you keep giving up and then starting over again and then starting over again, find someone who can help you. Don't struggle on your own. There are plenty of people out there who can support you. So you could book some PT sessions at your gym. You know, if you have a gym membership and you do go, but you tend to stick to like the cardio machines or the treadmill, the cross trainer, whatever. Book some PT sessions or a gym induction if the gym intimidates you. You could work with a coach like me if you want help with all of your habits and changing your behaviors and getting into the gym and getting more confident. Don't struggle on your own. Yes, these things all cost money, but if you can't invest in yourself and your health, then what can you invest in? If you don't have your health, none of the other things that you spend your money on matter. Okay. Now, many coaches like me have podcasts, have blogs. I have a Substack, YouTube channels, and lots of free content to help you. So if finance is a barrier for you right now, invest in yourself with your time. But if you do want support and you're considering how I can help you, then fill in the application form in the show notes or head to my website, themumbossmethod.com, and complete that application form. I'd love to chat to you about how I can help you. So they're my 5 tips. Now, I've kind of got a bonus one for you here because you know me, I'm always giving. This wouldn't be a complete episode without talking about how important mindset is in any health journey. And I could write a whole episode on this on its own. In fact, I could probably write a series of 10 episodes on this and still not cover it in complete detail. But what I wanted to say here is this journey takes time, it takes patience, it takes discipline. And anyone who tries to sell you that it doesn't take those things is trying to sell you a lie. Anyone that tells you they've got a quick fix, anyone that tells you they've got the easy route is trying to sell you a lie. Yes, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to or you don't feel like doing. Your head will try to talk you into picking the easy option all the time in all of your life and finding excuses. But learning how to reframe the unhelpful beliefs or thoughts or clearing the mindset blocks can be the most difficult part of any health journey. And in my experience, it's the part that most people need support with. Whether you are trying to get fitter and stronger, and you know, that's not necessarily weight related. You know, often people get frustrated because they're not seeing the results that they want to see. And so then they give up. That is about looking at your mindset and looking at progress differently. So remember how important mindset is and how important it is to measure your progress in more than just one way. So not just looking at the scales, not just looking at, you know, pictures of yourself from the side on to see if your tummy is sticking out, not just looking at you know, your clothes sizes. All of those things are important, but they're a snapshot. Okay. So just to recap then, my 5 tips for getting in the best shape of your life in midlife for 2025. So go slow to go fast. Don't go for the quick fixes. Instead, number 2 is focus on building healthy habits that will last you a lifetime. Number 3 is don't try to do it all at once. Okay, start with 2 or 3 things to focus on that will make the biggest impact to you. Number 4 is strength train. This is not going to leave you looking manly and it is so important for your body composition and for your long-term health. And then number 5 is get support, especially if you have been on this yo-yo roller coaster journey for years and years and years and you just keep going back to the beginning. Find support, and you can get my support by filling in the application form in the show notes. I would love to have a chat with you. Now, and finally, sorry, Don't forget that mindset is super important in any health or change journey, and it's really underestimated as well. So what I want you to do is I want you to use these tips. I want you to use the tools that I have put into the show notes to help you. Make sure that you take action, you write out your goals, you decide on a couple of things that you're going to focus on, put those into practice before adding anything else. And then when you feel that they're getting easier, you can layer on some more. Make 2025 your best year yet. Make it the year that you get in the best shape of your life, the most healthy, the most strong, the most confident, the most happy version of you that there has ever been. And if you've got any questions, come and find me on social media. I am at the Mum Boss Method on Instagram. I'm Chrissy Hiller on Facebook, or you can find my details on my website. I would love to hear your feedback or your questions. I'm going to go and sit under a blanket now and try and get rid of this cold. Thanks for bearing with me, and I will speak to you next week. Bye.